Servus and welcome. My name is Fireball313 and this is a new episode of Beyond the Game. And again, I have 4 new games what I would like to present. And the first one is, if we talk about the package, a really big one. And that is Catherine, and this is the Full Body Heart Desires Premium Edition. This is an enhanced version of the original game Catherine, what came out in 2011 for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. The full body release was 2019 for the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita. And in 2020 there was even a Switch version. And this is, like I said, the Heart Desire Premium Edition. And this is really big if you compare it with normal special editions, and I like that. You get a lot of cool goodies about this, and yes, and I want to present that. So this is the front of the game. This is the side of it, and then you can already see what is in it, but I don't want to spoil it too much. This is the back, some screenshots, more content, more curves, and it's complicated. By the way, this is the German version. This is equal to the English one or the Japanese one. And the first what you can do is you can open it like this, and then the package looks like this. And if you know a little bit about the game, these are the puzzle elements of the game, because you have dream sequence where the protagonist, Vincent is his name, try to move up a tower of blocks, and these blocks look like that. And these shapes you can see actually in the game. So then I will open the top of it. And then you get this lovely image. Looks really crazy, I think. And first what you have here is there's a sheep. And it has underpants. It's still sealed and I want to keep it like that. But yeah, this is really fluffy, makes a lot of sound. So, and beside that, you get some other goodies. Let me take this out. Let's first start with the game. And this is quite funny. It says here launch edition. So I think you can even buy this just standard in the store, in the way how it looks with the metal case and stuff, what comes with it. Actually, it's the same information on the back like on the big box. And they tell you there's a mystery, new woman, new puzzle elements, and some new cinematics and ends. Let me put this on the side. Then you get a metal case. This is Catherine, and this is Catherine, and this is Catherine, I think also. I must admit, I'm not so deep in the storyline of this game. I played this for a couple of hours and then I just moved on. But I must really admit, it's a very interesting mix. I really love the art design of the game. Everything is in anime style. And this game is actually divided in 2 things. It has a daytime and a nighttime. The daytime is some kind of social simulation where you stay most of the time in a club and you interact with people, with your girlfriends and some other girls. I don't want to spoil the storyline. And at the nighttime, actually, you have nightmares, and Vincent dream about this tower, and there's somebody who tried to kill him. So really funny. Where the inside of the package looks like this. And if I take the game and the menu out for a second, and you get these, a lot of sheeps. But I like it. It's very solid, and it has a nice finish. And then you have the game. No, get in. And the menu. And let's check the menu for a second. Oh, actually there's nothing to check, it's just from standard information. Okay, that's it. Okay, let's move on. Besides the menu, you get the soundtrack, and I like it. It is on a CD. You don't believe it. It's not a digital soundtrack, it's a CD. I really, really like this. So, and this is the front of the cover, and it's the back. And it really represents most of the soundtrack. And not just like compared with the Super Mario 25th Anniversary Edition, you know, where you just have some random sounds, and they are really, really the whole soundtrack more or less on this one, and this is really awesome. It should be always like that. And on top of everything, you get a very, very lovely art book. That's the front. And that's the back. It's the same image like what we had here. And let's check it. And then you get the table of content. So this is, for example, this is Vincent. That's the main protagonist. Overday, he looks like that. And overnight, he looks like this. And these are some early concept arts. Vincent with an age of 27. I really would like if I could draw like this, you know, this is really, really awesome. And then we have Rin. This is a new character, what they add in the full body version. I just read a little bit about it. I don't know anything, about her background. And these are early concepts of her. Very, very 80s, I think. And then we have Catherine. Catherine number 1. And she looks very, very tempting. And this is her high school outfit and early concepts of her. And that's the other Catherine. She looks more serious than the other one. I must really admit, she looks awesome in this dress. Really, like Lady in Red from Krista Berg. High school outfit, early concepts. And this is Erica Anderson. I think she works in this pub or in this restaurant where you stay most of the time. And this is a friend, some friends of, what was his name? I forgot it. Shit, shame on me. Of Vincent, yes, of Vincent, right. This is so awesome, looks so cool. Very 70s. And here you have some character designs, commentaries. These are really, really nice art styles. Very sexy, of course. Hoo-hoo. And this picture actually sums everything up. He is between all these 3 girls, and he can make the decisions about who he will love. And so this game is basically about relationships. And and in some way controversy, but I don't want to spoil too much, sorry. I think there was even in Japan a huge art book. They release this quite often for mangas, animes, games, hardcover versions, and I think, wait, it's this one actually, because it says Catherine Full Body Illustration Gallery. So I think there was a hardcover book in Japan for sale. And these are of these sheeps, what you can see, and these are some of the puzzle blocks. Yes, and then the credits. I must admit, the game is not everybody's cup of tea. I like the social simulation more than actually the puzzling aspect, because it's a combination of platforming and puzzle solving, and the game is quite hard. What is nice, they changed the game like that it's easier for beginners even to start. So, but I think in the future I will make a proper video about that. But it's really a game what I could recommend if you are open for an experience. For a new experience, that is important, and a different experience. The second game what I would like to present now has a very interesting history about the Sony consoles. But first I would like to show the predecessor, and that is Warhawk for the original PlayStation 1. This was a launch title in 1995 in the West, and it was a very impressive launch title if we talk about the graphics. About game design, this is a flight simulator with a heavy focus on action, so even that the biggest newbie could pick up and play this game quite easily. I must really admit I fell in love with this game when I just popped the CD in so many ways. It was not about the graphic, it was about the game design, because the Warhawk was really a flexible vehicle. In one way it was a jet, on the other way it was something like a helicopter also, because it could really fly it at one point, and it was very movable. And because of that functionality, the game design was really different than just a standard flight simulator. There is a storyline. There you have a crime organization that called Red Mercury, and you must defeat it. You're piloting the Warhawk, and then of course in 6 levels, huge levels. It really had this kind of open world feeling back then in 1995. And yeah, between the missions you have some some video clips with real actors in front of a green screen. Looks cheesy today, but was high end back then. When this game came out. Really awesome one. I was always looking for a successor, what never materialized for a decade. And in the PlayStation 2 era, I was hoping like, hey, please release a second Warhawk, what never happened. But when they showed the first demos of the PlayStation 3, they showed something really interesting. Because they had this 6-axis controller for the first time. I think it was the E3 or something. At least it was a huge presentation, and they showed the possibilities of the 6-axis motion sensing technology of the controller. And then they showed a demo about this game, Warhawk. And later they released this, and I was really looking forward to it. And in the beginning, there was the makers of the game, Cognition, or Incognito, I don't know how to pronounce that, but you guys can tell me, had a plan to release, to make a single-player campaign besides a multiplayer campaign. But they thought that maybe the single-player campaign would not have this high standard like the multiplayer campaign. They made this game, unfortunately, multiplayer only, and it says already on the package here. It's actually a real shame, I think, because I loved the single player on the first game. Yeah, I bought this game, unfortunately, not on release because I couldn't find it anywhere in the stores. And so actually the last couple of years before the PlayStation 3 was on the market, I bought this one, and I wanted to have this limited special edition. Actually, it doesn't say what kind of edition it is. You had two editions, this one with the Bluetooth headset and just a standard game itself. But this is more, for me, I don't know, a special, collector's item. So this is the front of it. And this is the back. And it tells already that you get a headset because it has voice chat. That was really, really cool back then in 2007 when the game got released. Yeah, let's open it and see what we get for our money. That's it, yes. So, that is the normal package when you buy this game just in the regular store. This is the back. This is the disc. And wait, first I show the artwork, what is inside. It's always nice to see when a company makes really some effort and want to show some cool artwork. And if we talk about the art design of the Warhawk itself, it looks really, really different compared with the original Warhawk. This is more futuristic, and that is more, I don't know, something like World War II, something like that. Yeah. So that's the disc. You get, of course, a game manual. And the game manual tells you all the details about the gameplay itself, because it's quite complicated, but it's not like Battlefield or Call of Duty. You must get really used to the way how the Warhawk and all the vehicles function, what you can do, and all the game types. So at least the game tells you about the controls. And then here's the control schedules for the ground vehicles. And here's about the motion sensor control. And I must really admit, steering the Warhawk with the motion sensor is really awesome. Really awesome. It's very sensitive. It's very, very accurate. So yeah, that is really nice. And then, of course, the online game, how you can open an online game. There was a local LAN function. Then, of course, you have the Warhawks. It's a shame that they don't show any kind of pictures of the tanks and the other vehicles. And then, of course, you have the game modes, deathmatch, team deathmatch, capture the flag zone. You could create clans. That was quite new back then, especially for the consoles. And then you have a nice artwork of the Warhawk itself. Yes. Then you get an USB cable, actually, for charging up the headset or recharging the headset. That's the headset. I don't actually know anything about the quality of this headset. I never used it because I had already a better headset. So, but you could put this in your ear, and here is volume buttons. Here you recharge it. It feels a little bit cheap. I even don't know the company, and they tell on this manual that's the Jabra BT135, and yeah, you have a manual about that, and I think it's self-explanatory how this functions. Yeah, that is the whole thing what you get. If I think back then the price of this package was, let me think, 70-80 euro. If you want to buy it now, this is quite cheap, and this has a reason also. The price is just 15 euro. The reason why it's so cheap is because the online functionality is gone since 2019. This is a real shame. So you can't play this anymore. What was quite impressive for a console game in this time, you could play this with 32 people. And later they released some DLCs with some new maps. And yeah, that was really an awesome multiplayer. More complicated than Battlefield, I would say. I play it just for, I don't know, 20-30 hours, something like that. Yeah, but yeah, it's actually for me emotional thing to have that, because I was really in love with the first Warhawk, and I was still hoping actually that they would release later a single player campaign, what never happened. But there was a successor also for the PlayStation 3, and this called Starhawk. This is the press release of the game actually, and so I got this one back when I was an online journalist, when I was testing games, and it has a 32 player multiplayer also, and a storyline. It was some kind of alternative Western theme. It was not bad, but what was really awesome about this one actually is let me see if you can see that here in the menu. Unfortunately not. It's multiplayer, and in a single player you could build your own base with different buildings, and that was very, very cool back then. And I loved the multiplayer. Even in this game, I loved the multiplayer more than the single player. So if you want a recommendation of these 3 games, I would say the first one, you know. And even, I mean, when you play the first Warhawk, of course, you can see already the age if we talk about the controls also. But it's still a game what I could recommend. Starhawk is still an awesome game. I'm not sure about the multiplayer if it still functions, but this one is really, with all the 3, is this one the best. The third game what I would like to present was, back then when it got released, a huge disappointment, especially for Star Wars fans. And that is The Force Unleashed 2. The predecessor, The Force Unleashed, for the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, Wii and PC, was one of the best selling Star Wars game. And and of course LucasArts saw a lot of potential in this series, so they continue the storyline of Starkiller. I don't want to spoil in this case, but I can really tell you this, guys, the storyline is a huge disappointment. You can finish the story mode in just less than 4 hours. I have a long play about that. I will put a link in the description if you guys are interested in that. So I knew, of course, that the game would be not so good like the first one. Of course, they add some new features. You can have 2 lightsabers. You can change the color of your lightsabers. There's some new force powers. They made the camera controls a little bit more easier, because in the first game you really fight more the camera than everything else. And this is the collector's edition. This got released back then together with the standard version, was a little bit more expensive. With the collector's edition comes some digital stuff and some goodies also. This is the front of it, and this is the back. Actually, the digital stuff, what you get for the game, is 3 exclusive levels, some concept arts about Starkiller, an exclusive lightsaber crystal, woo-hoo-hoo. What is in the special edition itself is a 2 GB Starkiller USB stick, some interactive digital art book, 5 desktop themes, and the whole script about the game itself. Yeah. Let's open this one. And what I would like to tell immediately is the quality of this plastic packaging is poor, really poor. It's really thin plastic. You can see already the color get loose. You have a lot of scratches. It's not really the best effort of LucasArts, you know, to present a collector's edition like that. So this is already a big minus, I think. Here you get the USB stick, and it's just paper, thicker paper, and there's nothing actually in here, just the USB stick, and you get it out like this. And that's the 2 GB USB stick with Starkiller. I think this is still a stupid name, Starkiller, and this is important to know. In the early beginnings of the draft of the first Star Wars game, it was not Luke Skywalker, it was Luke Starkiller. This is a reference, and so they used the name again. I think Starkiller is a stupid name, especially the character is not really a beloved character in the Star Wars universe, if I would say it like that. So, but this is the back of the USB stick. Here you have the control light. When you pop this in, then you can see when it's working. You open it like that. That's it. All the digital stuff like the desktop themes and the script is on this one. Important to know. Get in. So then we have the steelbook. And this is the front cover. There you can see Starkiller with his 2 lightsabers. Other side is Darth Vader. He's important in the storyline also. I must admit the quality of the steel case is really, really good. No complaints about that. If I open it like this. First, let me take the stuff out. And then you can see the artwork from the inside. Looks awesome. There's a lot of rain in this game in the beginning because it's so cool when it's raining. Yeah, I'll put the disc back. Here you get the download codes for the digital stuff, and this is the instruction manual. There's nothing really extraordinary in this manual about, it's about the controls. And of course, how you play the game, and the possibilities of the force that you can use, force push, force jump, and you can throw your lightsabers. This is one of the biggest deals that you can use the force like it is some kind of toy. You can do a lot of crazy stuff with stormtroopers. This is really the biggest fun in this game and in the predecessor also. And that's it about the manual. Nothing really extraordinary, unfortunately. Just on the back, you get some information about the Clone Wars series. I don't like this one. Yeah. This was a Christmas present for me. I knew already that the game would be not so awesome, but I wanted to know because I wanted to play this game because I'm a huge Star Wars fan, and yeah, so I knew already about the reviews that it would be not so perfect. But hey, it's okay. But I got this at the end, and I'm happy with this. Besides the PlayStation 3 version, I have the Wii version also. There is a difference. If we compare it with the Xbox and the PlayStation version, you have motion controls, you get some exclusive levels, and there's an exclusive multiplayer in it, and it has some kind of fighting style game, a little bit like Street Fighter. You can move in a 3D environment, you can choose many of the Jedis from the dark side and of course from the light side, and then you can fight each other. That is, yeah, a cool feature, I must admit. That's the back. And yeah, don't expect too much about the motion control. It's waving around the Wii remote, and sometimes it's not really responding. In this case, when we talk about the controls, and the PlayStation 3 and Xbox version is better. If we talk about the graphics also, about more content, you get here more things for your money. And that's the Wii version from the inside. The menu is actually completely the same. Only difference is that they tell you about the multiplayer. You can play it with 4 people, and about the motion control, how it functions. Yeah, that's it. The value of this one is around 70 euro. The Wii version is quite cheaper. I even don't know if there was a collector's edition for the Wii version, but this one is just for 10-15 euro. I would recommend actually that you get both the versions, and you get the exclusive levels and the multiplayer. That is fun also. It's a shame that they don't put this in the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox version. Yep. The last game for this video is a very interesting one if we talk about the content, but soon I will talk in detail about that and then you guys will understand what I mean. That is Quake IV, and this is the special edition for the PC. Back then it came out on a DVD-ROM. That was before all the digital downloads on the PC, because today it's really, really hard to get just a standard PC game in your store, you know, because everything runs through Steam and all the other clients. This got released in 2005. This game is based on the Doom 3 engine, and yeah, it continues the storyline of the second Quake, that you fight against the Strogg. Unfortunately, the game has one problem, like Doom 3 also. The game is really, really dark, and you have a lot of trouble with the flashlight, because just one rifle has a flashlight and the rest not. So you're constantly switching the weapons to see where's the enemy and to find your way through this dark environment. This is the front. I hope you guys can see it. It's very shiny. And this is the back. And here the special edition tells you what is included. There's Quake IV, of course. Then there is a DVD also with Quake IV, the making of. Then there is a small enhanced version of Quake II with the 2 expansion packs of The Reckoning and Ground Zero. Yeah, that is the content. That was back then for €50 in 2005. That was okay. Because I must admit, I never played Quake 2 back then, so this was a nice bonus, at least for me. And get out. That's the front. It's shiny also. And that's the back, the same like with the paper sleeve. From the inside, you don't get anything special. This is the game. And behind the game is the bonus DVD, of course, with the content, what I just told you guys. The manual is straightforward about the installing I mean, of the game. Then, of course, a small story recap, and then the in-game functions. And of course, all the weapons. Oh, by the way, this is the standard blaster. It has a flashlight. Then you have the machine gun. This has a flashlight. The shotgun doesn't have a flashlight. And all the other alien weapons. Where are the weapons? Wait. No weapons? Else? Oh, okay. That's quite funny. The rest of the weapons, the Strogg weapons, you don't find. So, yeah. And then, of course, all the pickups. This game had a multiplayer function also. It's based a little bit about the Quake II multiplayer. And so it's this was one of the complaints. It really plays almost like Quake II. And it was not really popular back then, I noticed. And they're talking about finding a server and the connections. And of course, you have game types like deathmatch, team deathmatch, tournament, capture the flag, arena, capture the flag. Nothing really extraordinary in this case. The game got designed by Raven Software. They are famous for Soldier of Fortune. They work a lot about Call of Duty in this case, but they made a lot of single-player games like Singularity. That was a good Bioshock clone. Yeah, actually quite good producers. Yeah. So, and now it gets really interesting. Let me put this back. Is later they released an Xbox 360 version. And there's this one. I made a long play about that. I put a link in the description if you guys are interested in that. And this is the standard version of Quake IV for the Xbox 360. Actually, it's a straight port with some minor difference, because I think of the bad programming, the frame rate of Quake IV is really, really bad. The console is really struggling to keep at least 30 frames per second. So it's really sometimes a real problem when, let's say, when when a lot of strokes, a lot of enemies in front of you, then the frame rate really dips and it goes really down. That's really yeah, something crazy. So yeah, but about multiplayer, everything what on the PC version you find, you get here also. And you get even more, even if that is the standard edition, you get the making of Quake 4 on a special DVD, and you get a straight port of Quake 2. The only minor difference is the two add-ons are not included. And that was the first time that Quake 2 got a port for the Xbox 360. Oh, from the inside, it is actually the same. This is the game of Quake 4. Here you have the bonus disc with Quake 2 and the making of. And here is the manual. And this is completely the same like the PC version. Of course, they changed. Of course, they explain the controls now for the controller. I mean, you play Quake 4 on the PC just with mouse and keyboard. Here with the controller, the controls with the controller, yeah, it's okay. You really can feel that it's a straight port from the PC in this case. Yeah, and the rest is just standard, like on the instruction booklet of the PC. But this is quite fascinating, and this is one of the reasons why this is a little bit more expensive than this one, because it was the first time that Quake 2 got a port for a console. I mean, a really straight port, and they enhanced even some stuff about the graphics and the frame rate. So even if Quake 4 is not in a good shape, I really recommend to buy this one to get Quake 2. And that's it for today. If you guys like my content, give me a thumbs up or subscribe. See you next time, and don't forget to support your local video game stores. Servus guys.